another beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Rubbin Minds. Welcome. My name is Ebuka Obi-Uchendu. Great to have you here. September is finally here with us. We've been waiting for Mr. President to give us a list of ministers. Like I've been saying on the show, even if we're not anticipating it, the long wait has made it such a big deal now that people can't wait to see the names of those who will constitute government for President Buhari. He promised that the names would be submitted to the Senate this month. The month has just started, so we don't know if it's going to be at the beginning or at the end. We're looking forward to seeing how that plays out. And hopefully he keeps his promise of naming only people who are corruption-free. It's been a very interesting week. That was, as we always do, we're going to start off the show today looking back at the week, and I have here with me Ayo Sogunro, a lawyer. Thanks for being here today. You're welcome, Ebuka. Mr. President finally clocked 100 days in office, and it's been a very interesting scenario. I know we're going to be talking about it extensively much later on the show, but I just want to touch on it now, especially with the fact that we started hearing talk about promises not coming from him. We thought we had some set promises that were supposed to be met in the first 100 days. Now we hear there were volunteers or there were party members who made the promise and not Mr. President. How do you think he's done?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's gotten to a point of the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away now. So you really can't hold the person to a promise he says he hasn't made. And I believe what most Nigerian observers are more concerned about is about the policy direction of the administration and not just project executions of pulling out white rabbits or performing magic. It's really about, we don't know where you are going. It's been 100 days. We need to know where you are going, not just about. So
you don't think you understand where government is headed right now?
No, not at all.
Why do you think that is? Does it have anything to do with the fact that we don't have a cabinet? Because I think this must be the first time we've spent 100 days without a cabinet. Yep. Do you think that has anything to do with it?
Under the military.
Under the military. I mean, in democracy now. Let's put it that way.
So it's not really about the cabinet itself, but again about the president's set goals. For example, when Mandela took over South Africa, he wasn't going there to cure AIDS or change corruption or whatever. He wanted the unity government, he wanted to unite South Africans, and he made that clear. And right from the start of his presidency, he started putting processes in place for that. So I think it's the same thing here too. There are processes that will be necessary for whatever goals President Buhari has in mind. We need to know those goals so that we can see whether those processes are adequate and whether it's possible for those goals to be achieved. So for now, what he's been doing is more, disciplinary issues, flog somebody here, order somebody there, which is good. I mean, it's been a while since you had a president who's been that all over the place active, but still, those are just random projects. They are not active policy issues.
I know I said we're still going to talk about it with another panel later, but I want to touch one more thing in the last 100 days. How do you think his communication has been? Because people seem to have mixed feelings about it. It's one of the first appointments he made with his media team. Do you think they've done very well? Do you think he's been in touch with Nigerians?
I think right now he's probably getting an overdose of communication, because from my own perspective, there are 4 levels of communicators for the president. There is his direct media advisors. There is the party media publication team. There is the party media volunteers, all the APC youths and people like that who are always happy to explain this on behalf of the president or that. And then there is the everyday Nigerian who just thinks they are plugged into the president's mind and can tell us what he's doing. Personally, himself doesn't say much, but there are a lot of people all over the place saying a lot of things on his behalf. And maybe he needs to come and do some sort of media chat too, as bad as that has become under the last administration, as infamous as it has become. Maybe he needs to sit down and let Nigerian journalists question him directly and let him explain himself on some of these things.
Okay, we'll move on now from that. I mean, we're still going to be touching on it much later on the show. And let's move on now to Lagos State, and something extremely tragic happened during the week. It's something that's happened over time in Lagos, where tankers fall off lorries or trailers and end up, killing people, sometimes not, but destroying property and all of that. But the one from this week was particularly tragic because it happened off a bridge on a car that had no idea that anything was going to happen. And we saw images online and newspapers of such heartbreaking scenes, a car that was completely crushed, We heard stories about 3 or 4 people being dead and all of that. And it brings to question a lot of things that the Lagos State government needs to do with good roads, regulating when tankers move, and regulating tankers themselves, making sure that they are fit to be on the roads. Let's start with, what do you think, the reaction from the Lagos State government, has it been adequate for you so far?
Well, I don't want to look at it from that point of view as much as the fact that this is not even a Lagos State government issue as much as a Nigerian issue. As the title of my last book infamously says, everything in Nigeria is going to kill you. Because our laws, our regulations are almost all tied around making revenue for the government, not for protecting the lives of citizens. In one way or the other, however you look at it, whether from NNPC to CBN or to road traffic laws, it's almost always geared to how does the government get some more income. We have a law that already puts procedures in place. So trailers and tankers cannot go at this point in time, except between these hours, you know. But that same law also says the commissioner of transport, I suppose, may, you know, exempt or allow people. This type of waivers, they place too much administrative powers, discretionary powers in the hands of public officials. So that even when you have a law that already says, don't do this, there are also back ways for them to do it under those same legal structures. And those are the type of process issues that affect everyday Nigerians because we allow it. We have not reformed our legal processes. So the same thing now, there's nothing really the Lagos State government can do except to enforce something that is already in place. I mean, they can't draft another law. The law is there. And at the same time, I'm sure, well, I don't want to say I'm sure, but if you go back and look at it, you'll see the company behind the tanker now would come around and say, but we had permission to go during these hours, applying these routes. So those are also all those sort of background issues that need to be sorted out. We need to remove this type of discretionary powers from our system. So if you say, do not pass this road at this time, then that's it. There should be no exemptions, no waivers for anybody at all.
Yeah.